Hello, welcome back to this YouTube video series, Airbnb clone in Ruby on Rails. And I think this is part 10. In last video, what we did, we connected our code with HTMLs and using L transition, which had some difficulties, if I remember. Yeah, there was some difficulties using which we toggle this drop-down menu. So this is the main functionality that we controlled in last video, showing this, right? And if you remember, we are already signed in from I think 2 to 3 videos back. So now my focus is that we should show three options here: sign in, sign up, and log out, or sign out. And based on that, it should work correctly. Like sign in should take them to the different page, sign up should take it to the different page, and sign out should actually sign out user. Okay, so let's work on that. And yeah, if you are watching till this point, I think you should subscribe to this channel and like videos. Thank you. Uh, let's start. Let me hide this first. Okay, so I think we'll just change this text for now. And the way we do this is for your profile, instead of your profile, let me write log out. Let me have a look at Airbnb. Login sign up. Okay. Log out, login, sign up. Yep, these three. Let's go to profile again because this was for mobile, and I think for web it's a bit different. There is repetition, yeah. So for this also, mm, first option can be, we can keep it in any way we want because we will change it later on. Login and sign up. Let's save, refresh. Okay, so we do have these options. Now let's first implement the sign out part, okay? Or let's first implement the login sign up, right? Login sign up, login sign up, and this. Let's first implement conditional operation, meaning either we want to show these two or we want to show logout. That's it. So how can we do that? If you remember from our device documentation, I mentioned that, okay, first of all, authentication is managed by device, right? So in that, I did mention that has some supported helper methods. And one of those methods is user signed in. So this will help us in understanding whether the user has been signed in or not. So let's try to use this. Obviously, this is part of Ruby code, so we'll have to write it in that particular way only. Now, notice that I won't use equal to here because we won't be rendering this. This is a condition for us. Signed in. User signed in, correct. Else, and finally, and. So this is similar to else, if else in any library, in any programming language. So if user is signed in, then obviously they can sign out. So let's paste it here. And if user is not signed in, they cannot they cannot log out. So let's paste it here. Refresh. We can see only logout is visible, right? Now let's check this in incognito mode because there we won't be signed in. Login and sign up. So I think this part is clear first. Now let's focus on sign out. So if you remember, when we added device, we had already installed it. All the views, the code, all of this was auto-generated by device, right? So along with that, in config, in routes, it had added one more thing, which is device for users, okay? Which means all the routes for users, okay? How can we know which path is getting used? For example, earlier, if you know, let me open incognito mode. If you know, I used user slash sign up. So how can we know that we have to visit sign up using this path only and it's not user or it's not sign up or anything else, right? So for that, Rails has one more thing, which is Rails routes. Okay, both are multiple Rails and routes. Okay, let's press enter and it will generate a list. Okay, from top, if we see, it's sort of a table: prefix, verb, UI pattern, controller name, those kind of things, right? So there are various device related user slash sign in, sign out. All these were device generated. We have our own code written here, which is root. This is something that we had created. You can see that it is calling home controller index definition. Now it has a lot of Rails related other routes also. So now we want to focus only on device. Okay, sorry, Rails routes. If we want to focus on something specific, we will write dash C and then name of that specific thing. So for example, in our case, we want to focus on device, right? So device. And it will generate all the URLs for device only. Now let's try to find something which replicates sign out. This one. Delete, destroy user session. Okay. So this is the URL path that we know of. Sorry, this is the path that we know of, and we can use this as variable name. This is the variable name, sort of, and this is the path it represents. So let's try to use this destroy user session. Now, whenever you're using any path, we have to do it in a specific way. First of all, we cannot use this a tag. We should use link to, I think, yeah, link to Rails link to. Yeah, it's link to only. Instead of this aref, we will be using link to. And a tag gets rendered similar to that, link to gets rendered, and that's why we are writing this. Okay, so percent equals to, this is Rails code, okay, Ruby on Rails code. Link to, what do we want to link to? We will have to mention the text. So here we want to log out. Okay, now we will have to mention the path, like when the user clicks on logout, which URL will get called. So for our case, we want to call this particular URL. We want to call this particular URL, and for that we will have to call this variable prefix. Okay, so destroy user session. How can we call this? It's a special case, destroy user session underscore path. So for all routes, you can use the route name directly, but along with that, you will have to append underscore path. Okay, this should work, and we can add classes also because this a tag has various classes. So let's try to add them also. It's a slight change in code. It uses equal to, it uses colon. There are commas in this. There are no comma in this. Now let's match this. Class we have introduced here already. So let's remove class. ID, we don't need that right now. So I'll just remove it. Tab index we can use and role we can use. Let's copy this directly. But instead of equal to this, instead of role this and commas. Okay, that we have done logout, it's already here. So logout text is not needed. And href, which is the path, we are using this. So let's remove this. It should fail, but let's try this out. It should fail actually. Now, is it failing? Because by default, what is it understands is that whatever path you mention, it is redirect. It is getting called in terms of get method. So there are different API calls, right? Post, get, patch, put, delete, all those things. So by default, it gets called using get method. That's why it is mentioning there is no get method for users and sign out. What did we do wrong? Let's check this out. user slash sign out, we want to call that, that's correct. Path is correct, but we want to call delete. So let's try to do this change. If we want to change the method here, I think we will have to write method delete or destroy. I'm not fully sure. I'm just trying out. Nope. Uh, delete method URL in Rails. Let's see. Destroy. Oh, okay. Exactly giving us result of this device only, and it mentions we have to use it in data. Okay. And turbo method, without turbo method, what is this? This is the code. Okay. I'll first try to do this without turbo method, and then we'll use the other one also. Syntax error, this. What's the syntax error? Let's scroll this. In this, comma is missing. Unexpected this. Okay, so let's introduce comma, refresh, and log out. Nope, again it's not working. I think it's because of the data only. Yes. Method delete button to. Okay, for that we'll have to use button to. Let's try it out. I'll again use shift to a tag only, but let's try it out with button to also. I'm just because I just want to understand this correctly. Logged out successfully. So if we are using button to, we can use this method directly. But if we are using a tag or link to basically, which is equivalent of a tag, we'll have to use this, I think. Let's try this out also. This is just for understanding. We can follow either one of these. Okay, I'll have to sign in again. For that, for now, I can go to user sign in. The email was test1 at that gmail.com. Password was 123456 and login. Logged in successfully. Let's log out and sign out successfully. We can see this here. Okay. So you can use either one of this. I'm sticking to link to for now. Uh, or let's go one step ahead. Inspect. What is this? Why is it not showing correctly? Because it's not visible. Okay, no worries. We'll keep one of these. We won't go in depth about it. Now, similar to this, let's implement the sign out also, sign login and sign up also. So except path and what type of method we have to use, we can implement everything, right? So just try to use this directly. Uh, I'll just rewrite this just so that you can remember. If we want to render this, that's why equals to link to, what should we name it? Let's name it login. Path we don't know, method we don't know. We can mention class. What's the class? This one. Okay. Role, tab index, we want both of these things. And this mainly helps in accessibility. And because our code is already using it, let's take advantage of it. Okay, so login is there. Okay, sorry, my mistake. Login is there. Let's remove this and let's remove this. I will just copy paste this now. Sign up. Let's refresh. Login, sign up. Okay, where is my mistake? Both of these are getting shown in one single item, right? but we want them as separate items. I'll just undo this code for now. Okay, and instead of block, let's use flex. Login sign. Okay, I'm just trying to understand. It should not have happened, but why is this happening? Block should work, right? Class is getting used correctly. Class. Maybe, yep. Uh, link to does expect path, and we were not mentioning path. That's why it was creating issue. Great. Right now I mentioned empty path, but we have to find the correct path here. So for login and sign up, let's again, I'll just clear this again. How can we find correct path? Rails routes. If we don't know in which category we are looking routes, it's fine. Or in which controller we are looking routes, it's fine. We can use this, or because we know it's in device dash d device. At this point, I'm not fully sure if I'm going in too much depth or I should speed up my videos. Anyways, let's keep this for now. Uh, I want to do sign in. New user session and user session both have same URL. So we will see what we want to do here and sign up. So let's go with sign up, new user registration. We'll copy this path, underscore path. Okay. Now this will create sign up. Along with that, this is a get method, so we don't need to mention it, or we could have mentioned it explicitly also, similar to this turbo method get. Okay, instead of delete, we could have written get, but by default, it works like this only. And for login, sign in, I think new user session should work. Let's try this. Let's go to login. It is login. Let's go to sign up. It is sign up. Back. Great. Let's log in. test1@gmail.com/123456. Login. It is working correctly. Now, one more change I want to make. Let's log out from here and let's go to login page. If I click on Airbnb, it should go to my home page. So again, for that, let's find the route. We already know we can use the link tag here, but let's try to find the route here. So for that, again, Rails routes, maybe dash c route. If it won't work, we can always go back to this route. Okay, so it's a route. So I can use route underscore path. Okay. Okay, so if I write controller name, it works correctly. So route underscore path for Airbnb logo. Let's go to our Airbnb logo. This is the SVG. Wait, we are using Rails, right? So percentage equals to link to. What are we linking to? Uh, we should not name this, and instead we can use what path. I think do. To create a block for link to, we can use do. We'll check if the code is correct or not. At the end, it's completely fine. Let's refresh. It's not working because we want to use root underscore path, and it is working correctly. Let's try out sign up. It is working correctly. So yeah, uh, just to be clear, I have only used path. I haven't used any class or name or anything because I don't want to show you anything. There is nothing visual about it. I'll have to use this equal to still because the internal content is visual representation. Otherwise, this will happen, right? And because it's a block of code, we can use do and end it here. That's it. Thank you, and we'll see what we can do in next video. Bye bye.